a pleasure listening, and I found I wasn't able to listen all the time, but it was really interesting, and I really enjoyed the locust chat just a few minutes ago, because at a approval plenary of Working Group 1, like more than 10 years ago, one of the delegates from, I think from an African country, said, this is all very interesting, but we really want to know about locusts. So it was really nice to hear what actually happens and what can be done. So this lighthouse that I'm going to talk about is looking at long-term climate change and better estimating climate risk. I think this has kind of knocked, this lighthouse is focusing on a door that has been knocked wide open, realizing that we are already experiencing quite problematic aspects of climate change, and that we need to focus more on aspects of risk in climate change that are a bit harder to pin down in detail. And so we are looking at not only a safe place to go to, but also at exploring the route to there in terms of emissions or warming for human and natural systems. And it focuses on arriving there while achieving the key sustainable development goals, which is already tells you that there is an important role for a society in interacting with the climate change goals here. And so I have in this talk, I flagged everything that has, for me, a particularly strong societal link in blue, so just to flag it a little bit more. We say our timescale is multi-decadal to millennial, and we are not looking at instant near-term risk, but that is not engraved in stone in all cases. We have, so the development team, which were the people on the front slide, have met for about a year and have developed this topic of climate risk into 5 scientific themes. And I'm going to briefly give you a tour of these 5 themes. One of them is understanding high-risk events. And so that looks at tipping points. So in some very large-scale climate changes, like large carbon release, ice shelf collapse, regime shifts, multiplicative compound hazards, including fire, which you see on the picture, also high climate sensitivity, and so on, and also biome collapse. For example, the Amazon, which already has a strong human imprint, because it is not only a question of climate change, but also of forest deforestation, forest maintenance. So we also want to facilitate uncertain risks, and there is now cost-benefit analysis and adaptation planning that needs to be well informed by what exactly the costs and benefits are also to society, and then identify adaptation limits. So this particular, so each of the themes is now being developed by a working group, and I'm going to get to there in how this all works in practice in a minute. We're in the moment participating in a webinar series on tipping points that's organized by quite a few organizations together, including AIMS and TIPMIP and so on, which has been really successful. And we plan to develop this further also with workshops when we are a bit more clear what we actually need. Then the perturbed carbon cycle is that's co-led. I should have written up my leads, but forgot to do so. So one of the leads on that one is Pierre Friedlichstein. We look at that has a very, very strong societal interaction, because we look at the societal choices for carbon dioxide removal, BECCS, biofuels, and their interaction with food and water supply, and generally the tension between carbon dioxide removals and other pressures on the planet. So this one has a strong link to human choices. Then we have a theme on water resources, which has decided to focus particularly on glacier-based water and on rainforest-based water. So looking at also the impacts of human activity on water. So, for example, through deforestation, agriculture, and glacier darkening, and also looking at the threshold risk of collapse of, for example, rainforest rainforests. And here there is also an ambition to link to local and indigenous knowledge. So then we have this sea level rise working group, which has come in parts out of the grand challenge on sea level, but focuses again more on consequences, on habitable coasts, what is an acceptable sea level rise that can be adapted to, what is the impact of sea level rise on low-lying communities and ecosystems, particularly also through extreme events against storm surges, hurricanes, and so on, and what is the potential for adaptation, how do we foster the co-production between sea level experts and coastal planners. So here again, you can see a strong societal element. I think everybody is recognizing that we cannot make decisions and plan adaptations in a scientific only vacuum. So we need this link to society. Then the last theme is in many ways an integrative theme between all the themes. So it considers all the risks and opportunities identified in the first four themes and tries to pin out a path towards a more safe climate. So safe, we had a long discussion at the beginning of scoping out this lighthouse, what is safe, because in many ways we are already way unsafe, but and so we used to compare it to the Hudson River landing of this famous American airline flight, where basically they landed in the river, which is not great, but everybody got out alive, which is at least something. And so we are trying to, so we're pinning down where can we go from where we are to make things reasonably safe. And so that one focuses on preserving all the things we need to preserve, habitability, food security, identifying adaptation limits. It links to the burning embers and looks at understanding and constraining risks. And so here particularly there's an ambition to use the interaction between climate, biosphere, and society. And we are having a broad consultation right now, which will be followed by workshops. And so these lighthouses, and I have no idea where I'm on time, these lighthouses so our lighthouses is now in these 5 themes, and each theme has in the moment a newly selected working group membership, which are pushing these, which include some early career scientists. We have a bit of a diversity problem, particularly regionally. So we would like to include at some point more people from regions that are presently underrepresented. So these 5 working groups are pushing the theme along, and we have affiliate members, and that is in the moment something where we look for adding people onto as affiliate members that are interested in that topic, interested in participating in some activities and possibly meetings of this of the working group, and then maybe at some point interested to move up into a working group. So our first call for members ended in November, and we expect to have another call for working group members, which are the core. It's about 10 people who make decisions where this theme is going next, but strongly informed by the affiliate members. And so at this point, if you have an interest in any of the things I talked about, please get in touch. We very much welcome more affiliate members. We are also interested in an advisory group, which we haven't formed yet, which could be people, could be scientists, but also non-scientists that have have information and an interest in where this theme goes. Okay, and now I'm going to stop sharing, and I'm back.